after I shot 49 on the front nine with like 12 penalty shots, I was out of ideas and I had a long wait on 12 and I could see it was going to be a while down there. And I was just like, I mean, I'm sure it's perfect, but why don't I just double check alignment and make sure that it's not an alignment problem? So while I was waiting there, I picked a target and I went through my entire routine just like I would hit a regular shot and try to get myself where I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the ball now. And I just took my driver and laid it down on my toe line and I stepped back and I took a look at it and it was aimed pretty much. My feet were lined up about 20 yards right of where they should have been lined up. And
Wow.
your foot line should be parallel to your target. And mine was basically aimed at my target, which if you do the geometry of that, if your feet are pointing at your target, your actual alignment's about 20 yards, probably right. But there's an interesting thing that I've struggled with since then. And Tony and I played, I think, our match the next day, and I played absolutely terrible because once I fixed my alignment, all of a sudden the rest of my swing sucked. But it's funny, when you don't do things right in your alignment, it forces you to do things terribly in your golf swing to make up for it. And then when you fix it, it turns ugly. So that's the wrong way of looking at it, is that when all else fails, go back to fundamentals and just make sure that nothing you're doing in your fundamentals is wrong. But Tony, what's the right answer? Because I'm pretty sure I should have done that sooner.
I'm not gonna say there's a right answer, but like think about in any other thing we do in life, we're trying to problem solve, right? Like, your kid comes to you and says, "Dad, my Game Boy isn't working." Well, you could take the whole thing apart and try to find a short in the circuit, or you could be like, "Well, does it have fresh batteries in it? Are the batteries dead?" Right? Or I can't get my car to start. Well, does it have gas in it? Is the battery, dead? Like these are basic things that the equivalent of the golf swing would be your alignment. So why go down this rabbit hole of, and I'm guilty of it sometimes too with, I like to tinker with stuff, mechanics or electronics, things of that nature. And I will like to deep dive and try to figure out what's really going on. But sometimes it is just as simple as let's go through our basic checklist of these are the things that the device needs to operate. It needs gas, it needs air, it needs spark, right? That's the engine. These are the things that the golf swing needs to have its best chance of success. It needs a sound grip, sound posture, sound alignment, right? So I would always say start there before we go down the rabbit holes of other things, just to make sure you're not missing something that's super easy to fix, right?